What is happening today? What is happening today? Okay. Okay. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hi, I am Spantopia Rose, but you can call me Span. How are you? 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 Today is another little golden book today, and this book is very dear to my heart, very close to my heart, I was very nervous about this book because, my dear friend Shoop was like, Tawny Scrawny Lion, amazing. And I found him. But my heart skipped a beat because I was going through my little golden book collection going, oh yes, I have plenty of copies of this book. I love this book. I've got a very old, well-known, well-loved version of this book. And I could not find it. I was on the third row, 3 of 3 of little golden books. When I found this baby, and this baby is the correct book with the correct pictures, but it's new. It's got a barcode on the back. It's almost brand new. It has no. It hasn't even. I've got to correct that. Spine. I didn't even correct the spine. But yeah, this is copyright 1952. So, the first book that I remember having was from the 50s, I'm pretty sure. From the 60s at least. And it was old and tattered, and this is the only copy. I have so many copies of the Zaggy Baggy Elephant, and I thought the same with the Tawny Scrawny Lion, but this is it. So, without further ado, let's read the Tawny Scrawny Lion. I hope the lighting is alright. I'm sorry. Alright. The Tawny Scrawny Lion for Shoop a Loop. A Little Golden Book. Tawny Scrawny Lion by Catherine Jackson. Fiction by Catherine Jackson. Pictures by Gustav Denegren. I need to move over slightly. So, once there was a tawny, scrawny, hungry lion who never could get enough to eat. He chased monkeys on Mondays, kangaroos on Tuesdays, zebras on Wednesdays, bears on Thursdays, camels on Fridays, and on Saturday, elephants. And since he got everything he ran after, that lion should have been as fat as butter. But he wasn't at all. The more he ate, the scrawnier and hungrier he grew. The other animals didn't feel one bit safe. They stood at a distance and tried to talk things over with the Tawny Scrawny Lion. It's all your fault for running away, he grumbled. If I didn't have to run for every single bite I get, I'd be as fat as butter, as sleek as satin. Then I wouldn't have to eat so much and you'd last longer. Just then, a fat little rabbit came hopping through the forest picking berries. All the big animals looked at him and grinned slyly. Rabbit, they said. Oh, you lucky rabbit, we appoint you to talk things over with the lion. That made little rabbit feel very proud. What shall I talk about? He asked eagerly. Any old thing, said the big animals. The important thing is you go right up close. So the fat little rabbit hopped right up to the big hungry lion and counted his ribs. You look much too scrawny to talk things over, he said. So how about supper at my house first? What's for supper? Asked the lion. Things are not going to plan. Carrot stew. That sounded awful to the lion, but the little rabbit said, yes, sir, my 5 fat sisters and my 4 fat brothers making delicious big carrot stew right now. What are we waiting for? Cried the lion, and he went hopping away with the little rabbit, thinking of 10 fat rabbits and looking just as jolly as you please. Well, grinned all the big animals, that should take care of Tawny Scrawny for today. Look at his face. I see the shadow is coming from the camera. Before very long, the lion began to wonder if they would ever get to the rabbit's house. First, the fat little rabbit kept stopping to pick berries and mushrooms and all sorts of good-smelling herbs, and when his basket was full, what did he do but flop down on the river want to catch a few fish for the stew. So that was almost too much for the hungry little lion. That was almost too much for the hungry lion. For a moment he thought he would have to eat that one little rabbit then and there, but he kept saying 5 fat sisters and 4 fat brothers over and over to himself, and at last the 2 were on their way again. Here we are, said the rabbit, hopping around a turn with the lion close behind him. Sure enough, there was the rabbit's house with a big pot of carrot stew bubbling over an open fire. And sure enough, there were 9 more fat, merry little rabbits hopping around it. When they saw the fish, they popped them into the stew along with the mushrooms and herbs. The stew began to smell very good indeed. And when they saw the Tawny Scrawny Lion, they gave him a big bowl of hot stew, and then they hopped about so busily that really it would have been quite a job for that tired, hungry lion to catch even one of them. So he gobbled his stew, but the rabbits filled his bowl again. When he had eaten all he could hold, they heaped his bowl with berries. And when the berries were gone, the Tawny Scrawny Lion wasn't scrawny anymore. He felt so good and fat and comfortable that he couldn't even move. Here's a fine thing, he said to himself, all these fat little rabbits, and I haven't room inside for even one. He looked at all these fine fat little rabbits and wished he'd get hungry again. Mind if I stay a while, he asked. We wouldn't even hear of your going, said the rabbits. Then they plumped themselves down on the lion's lap and began to sing songs. And somehow, even when it was time to say goodnight, that lion wasn't one bit hungry. Home he went, through the soft moonlight, singing softly to himself. He curled up in his bed, patted his sleek fat tummy, and smiled. When he woke up in the morning, it was Monday. Time to chase monkeys, said the lion. But it wasn't one bit hungry for monkeys. What he wanted was some of that tasty carrot stew, so off he went to visit the rabbits. On Tuesday he didn't want kangaroos, and on Wednesday he didn't want zebras. He wasn't hungry for bears on Thursday, or camels on Friday, or elephants on Saturday. All the big animals were so surprised and happy they dressed in their best and went to see the fat little rabbit. Rabbit, they said, oh you wonderful rabbit, what in the world did you talk about? Talk to the Tawny Scrawny Hungry Terrible Lion about. The fat little rabbit jumped up in the air and said, oh my goodness, we had such a good time with that nice jolly lion that I guess we forgot to talk about anything at all. And before the big animals could say one word, the Tawny Lion came skipping up the path. He had a basket of berries for the fat rabbit sisters, and a string of fish for the fat rabbit brothers, and a big bunch of daisies for the fat rabbit himself. I've come for supper, he said, shaking his paws all around. Then he sat down in the soft grass, looking fat as butter, sleek as satin, and jolly as all get out, all ready for another good big supper of carrot stew. Let me read that again. Then he sat in the soft grass, looking fat as butter, sleek as satin, and jolly as all get out, all ready for another good big supper of carrot stew. I wish somebody would call me fat as butter as a compliment. Oh, Span, you're fat as butter. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This was not exactly what I remembered. Thank you so much, Shoopaloop. Shoop, 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 shoopaloop, loop, 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 for requesting the Tawny Scrawny Lion, because I love this character dearly, and I had forgotten the plot, and I love that they use fat as a positive descriptor. That makes my heart sing. The Tawny Scrawny Lion. The Tawny Scrawny Lion. I think honestly I remember him more as a vague concept, more as an image, more as this image on the back here. I remember him more like this than from the actual story itself, which is quite interesting. The Tawny Scrawny Lion. Comment below, oh Span, you're as fat as butter. Make my day. I liked that the first thing the rabbit did was count his ribs and then invite him over to supper because he was not as fat as butter and he was unhappy in his situation, and the rabbit just needed to be friends with the lion, and the lion just needed to share a big healthy meal. This is a good one. Good story, good story, good story, good story. The Tawny Scrawny Lion, the Tawny Scrawny Lion. Let's look back through the pictures. As fat as butter.